Hey, it's Dave. Welcome to my channel, My Yard Sale. Today I want to talk a little bit more in depth on the post that I made, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, about omega 6s and linoleic acids. So the interesting thing is, if you eat a lot of sugar, I should say if I eat a lot of sugar, I could feel neuropathy and retinopathy and diabetic type of issues getting worse. I could feel that. I never really felt like um, like omega 6 oils from different cooking oils, vegetable oil. I never felt that like come on to like negatively impact me. And now I'm 2 years into not maybe almost 2 years, a little bit over 2 years maybe, but I'm into not eating anything like horrible. I mean, I don't even eat pizza anymore. I may eat a cauliflower pizza in the next couple of days, but I haven't had pizza in 2 years. I don't eat anything but carnivore or ketovore. Definitely ketovore, mostly carnivore. Haven't eaten any of that in 2 years. Occasionally I have a treat, and those treats are not good. I look at the ingredients and I can tell, oh, okay, here's cottonseed oil, here's safflower oil, sunflower oil, or different oils or different things that I can't pronounce. I don't know what they are. Like I know those things aren't good for me, but those are such small, minor amounts of what I eat. I'll eat 2 pounds of food with a little tiny, a mini cupcake or mini cake kind of thing for a treat once every week or 2 weeks. So I'm thinking the sugars are not causing me issue. Now on the flip side of that, I can have a cup of coffee and put actual sugar in the coffee, which I did at one point, and I had a complete anxiety attack. It like kind of wrecked me, but it didn't physically affect me. It didn't give me like inflammation and cause my mobility to be difficult, or I couldn't didn't have the strength to stand up. I couldn't walk. It was just like the sugar went straight to my brain and affected that, which I feel like that is I feel like that is like I feel like that's like the sugar. I don't know, the sugar like affected me negatively. It like definitely wrecked me and did me wrong. But if I eat like any kind of ultra processed foods, then it kind of like affects me physically. It like causes my neuropathy to flare up. It causes inflammation, and it almost feels like diabetes is different than this whole omega 6 thing. And I was reading that, well, I know that you can actually reverse diabetes in 3 months, 6 months. You can reverse it completely. But you can't reverse this whole omega 6 thing. And I don't know what that would even be called because that's not diabetes. That's basically like seed oil poisoning or lubricant oil poisoning. These things were not made to fry food in. They were made to lubricate machinery. All these seed oils. So what's interesting is the more I read about linoleic acid and omega 6s, if you're eating them along with omega 3s, the inflammation gets caused by the omega 6s, and the omega 3s, which is like your fish and I don't know, flax seeds, chia seeds, they have omega 3s. If you eat a ratio that's adequate between omega 6s and omega 3s, you're all set. But if you eat a diet very high in omega 6s, which is all these like anything to do with safflower or sun oil or any vegetable oils, that's all omega 6s. And if you do what I did and fry tofu and fry all the food you eat for like, I don't know, 6 months in vegetable oil, because it's vegetable oil, it's not unhealthy. Like it stacks up in your body, and I think that's what's causing me this long term problems that I'm having. And what I'm reading is it takes 2 to 3 years to get this out of your system. I don't know if there's a test that you can test to see if you have too much omega 6 in your system or not. That'd be great if I could get that and find out. But I'm reading that it takes 2 to 3 years to get it out of your system, which I should be getting pretty close to that 2 to 3 year mark. And I should start seeing some reversal of some of these negative effects that I've had over the last several years. At least I hope. Anyways, this is just a post about this whole omega-6 linoleic acid thing, seed oils, and some of my thoughts on it. I feel like me particularly, I don't feel like I'm still being affected by diabetes or prediabetes. I feel like I'm being affected by the longer term effects of omega-6 linoleic acid, omega-6 fats. I mean, there was a point when I used to eat a lot of fish, and then there was a point where I just didn't eat fish anymore. I just didn't like it anymore. And I think if I didn't have the right balance, then my body would have spiked with this whole omega-6 thing. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of, what could be causing my problems and why I have such weird days of like, some days I don't have any, I have less problems, I should say. No days are great these days for me, but some days are less of an issue. Some days are definitely more of an issue. And the days where it's more of an issue definitely has some kind of sugar involved, but it usually has like some kind of a, I don't know, a delicious little crust of something. Like at one point I bought these amazing Jamaican patty things. It was like, I don't know, it was beef, spicy beef. So it had like a beef inside with some Scotch bonnet pepper sauce in there. And then it had this delicious microwavable crust on the outside. It was so good. I mean, I could have eaten probably 10 of those things. But the weird thing is, I would eat like half of it, or maybe I would eat the whole thing, and it would like really impact me. Even though I knew that there was sugar in those things, there was a very little amount of sugar. But I'm thinking that the crust, when it was made, the crust had probably a pretty good amount of omega-6 oils, and there wasn't enough omega-3s in it to offset it. So if your omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is correct, I think you probably shouldn't have any problems drinking coffee or eating peanut butter or any of these things that have like quite a bit of omega-6s in it. But if you eat a diet very high in omega-6s, like vegetable oils, all this food that they mix in, all this vegetable oils, sunflower oils, safflower oils, rapeseed oils. They have all these oils and stuff in it. They're all omega-6. If that's a pretty heavy part of your diet, I hate to say it, but you're probably heading in the same spot that I'm in. And I'm hoping that 2 years into this of eating mostly keto, vegetables, no carbs, almost no carbs, I should say almost no carbs. I don't want to I don't want to lie. You know, occasionally I have apples, occasionally I have some fruit, I have some bananas. Sometimes I do have peanut butter. I bet for the most part I'm all ketovore at this point. So I guess my point is that if you're eating a lot of omega 6s, it's probably not doing your body any favors, and at some point it will catch up with you. And the one thing that I thought was interesting is high levels of omega 6s in your body can actually cause some of the problems that diabetes it's it's the things that happen when you have diabetes. And I'm wondering if omega 6s don't cause diabetes. They like have the same effects, the same inflammation effects, the same neuropathy effects, retinopathy is all it's all negatively impacted by those omega 6s. So now I'm not eating sugar and I'm not eating omega 6s. Pretty soon I'm not going to be able to eat anything at all. I'll just drink water, and then after that I'm not going to be able to drink water because they're going to say that our water is poisoned in New York. Anyways, if you eat a lot of omega-6s, and if you don't know what an omega-6 is, I strongly urge you to look it up. All these cottonseed oils, you can look at the ingredients of any thing from Walmart and see if there's like what kind of oils there are in the as the ingredient. And if it's rapeseed oil, sunflower oil, if it's vegetable oil, any kind of oil besides maybe like coconut oil or olive oil, any oil outside of that, you're probably better off not eating it, especially if you're already having some kind of inflammation problems. Anyways, if you have any questions, do me a favor, put them below. If you have any comments, I would love to see your comments or hear, what your thoughts are and respond to any of the comments. If this is interesting at all, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up. And if you're interested to hear more about like what's going on with my process and how I'm dealing with all this and how I'm getting along with it, do me a favor and subscribe. I hope you have a great day. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.